I now look to Secretary Jeh Johnson to close the case for the proposition.
Prime Minister, my good friend Avril, my good friend Anthony, our team captains, future prime ministers and presidents in the room, and I know I'm looking at many. I find myself in arguing for this proposition in an interesting position. First, I have to apologize. Several weeks ago, I came down with a case of something I'd never heard of before, Bell's palsy. I did not have a stroke. I have not been to the dentist in the last 24 hours. This is not contagious, it's very random. It only matters if I try to smile or speak, and I will not do so. I also find myself in an interesting position because I am a security official, partnered with, the chief antagonist of government power in the United States, my good friend Anthony Romero, against my former colleagues charged with our national security. On this score, in support of this proposition, it would be easy for me as an Obama administration official to attack the policies of the Trump administration. But I will not do that because I know that my good friends over here will not defend those policies. I must say, however, never in my lifetime did I think that I'd see a United States District Court find that my president holds a religious animus that he attempted to put into official government policy. But that's where we are. Instead, I'm going to argue the other elephant in the room, and it's a big one. It's been touched on here tonight. It's staring you in the face. You carry it around in your pocket. The proposition is we have sacrificed our liberty for a false promise of security. Insofar as the degree to which all of you, or at least those of you who know how to use Wi-Fi, all of you have sacrificed your privacy, if you regard privacy as a liberty, to the internet, the answer must be an unequivocal yes. All of you have sacrificed and been lulled into surrendering to the internet. Your name, if you're a US citizen, your social security number, where you live, where you work, where you study, what you think, your search history. When I was growing up, the books I checked out of a library were regarded as sensitive. Your search histories, your dating preferences, where you go, where you eat, your facial recognition, you have agreed to give up to the internet. This is largely unregulated space. The law has not caught up with the degree to which we have surrendered our privacy to the internet. There are very few legal restrictions on who can share your personal information. And so not only do you have internet service providers and social media platforms making use of your very personal data, you now have a plethora of data mining companies, data intelligence companies that look for your personal information and make use of it for commercial purposes. And now we know for political purposes. Micro-targeting. We have become so good at looking at you personally for political purposes, and I don't limit my remarks to the United States, nor should I. For political purposes, we can find all things about you and figure out how you think. If anybody has any doubt about that, watch the 60 Minutes segment in the United States several Sundays ago, an interview with the chief digital officer of the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign, through use of what you have surrendered on the internet, figured out your preferences. They figured out people in the Midwest of the United States who are interested in aging infrastructure, and political campaigns have figured out how to psychoanalyze you for purposes of a tailored, micro-targeted appeal to you to get your vote. So we have gone from a world in which candidates for office appeal to you by who they are and what they stand for, to a world in which people appeal to you by getting inside of your head with a very tailored marketing effort. And to the extent all of this information is now available about you for all these different actors, including nation-state actors, to see and analyze, that is the security issue. That is the security issue. And to the extent you believe it is not, you've been lulled into a false promise of security. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your wake-up call. I doubt anyone on this side of the aisle would seriously disagree with what I'm saying. This is your wake-up call. And we need, in the entire civilized free world, a real national, international campaign to deal with this before we have gone too far. Thank you very much.